Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we'll discuss about inheritance in C#. What is the agenda of today's video? First we'll discuss what is inheritance in simple term, then benefits of inheritance, followed by a demo. Before that, if you are new to my channel, please do not forget to subscribe. So let's get started. What is inheritance? Inheritance is a fundamental concept of object-oriented programming that allow you to create a new class based on an existing class. We can say we can create a derived class or a subclass based on the base class or from the parent class. The derived class inherits the properties and behavior of the base class, which promotes code reuse and allows you to model real-world relationships. Let's break down how inheritance works. Base class. The class that serves as a foundation for inheritance is called base class. It defines the common properties, method, and fields that will be inherited by the derived class. Next, what is derived class or subclass? The class that inherits from base class is called derived class. It extends or specializes the base class by adding its unique properties, methods, or fields. Here is the syntax of inheritance. So this is nothing but our normal class. The class name is base class and it has its own properties and method. This is our derived class which is inherited from base class. To define a class that inherits from base class, we'll use colon, or we can say to define a class that inherits from another class, we use colon symbol. For example, derived class is inherited from base class and we'll use the symbol colon to make sure that it is derived from base class. And whenever we call the derived class, it will access all those properties and method from base class as well as some additional properties and method written in the derived class. So this is basically the syntax of inheritance. Next, access members. Public and protected members of the base class are accessible in the derived class. Private members of base class are not accessible in the derived class. So all these access specifier like public, private, and protected, but protected and public we can only access in the derived class. We cannot access the private members of base class in derived class. The protected keyword allows a member to be accessible within its own class and any derived classes. Then method overriding. A derived class can be override a method defined in the base class using override keyword. This allows you to provide a specialized implementation in the derived class. Then method hiding. You can hide a method from the base class in the derived class using new keyword. This is called as method hiding. In general, it is not recommended as it can lead to confusion and unexpected behavior. But there is a probability or there is a possibility you can hide a method from the base class in the derived class using new keyword. These are the advantages or these are the benefits we have when we use inheritance. Let's see a simple example how we can achieve inheritance. So here is our Visual Studio. We'll create a class here. Let's say I'll create a class called animal, that is public class animal, and this class has a property called animal name, or we can say specifically name. Next we'll create the constructor where we'll pass the name as parameter, and here it will be a parameterized constructor. So I'll pass here string name, then name is equals to name. I'll just assign the name value to our name property. Then we'll create a virtual method. For example, we can create a method called make sound. For that, I'll write public virtual void and I'll give the method name as make sound. We'll just write it to console. I'll do console.writeLine. I'll specify this is my base class, so animals make sound. And now let's say I'll create a derived class. Animal can be a dog, so I'll create class called dog and I'll inherit it from animal, which is my base class. Then here we'll again create a constructor and we'll pass the name as parameter. Since we do not have any specific properties in the derived class, that is in dog class, we'll use class properties. So I'll just type this name. So what is the use of this base keyword? This base keyword is used to access member of base class within derived class. It commonly used to call the base class constructor or to invoke overridden methods. Next, we have this base class make sound method. This is a virtual method. We'll override it in the derived class. So what I'll do here is I'll write public override void then make sound, and here I can say, means as we'll know, like in derived class we can write our own implementation. So I'll write console.writeLine what sound dog make, dog can bark. So dog barks. So this is one of my derived class. Next, we'll create another derived class. Let's say I'll create another animal, let's say cat. I'll write a public class cat. Then again, I'll inherit it from animal class, which is our base class. And again, we'll do the same. We'll create a constructor and we'll pass the parameter as name and we'll call the base name. Next, we'll override the make sound method again. Make sound, and in this here cat say meow. We'll go to our program.cs file where we'll create the instance of derived classes. It's dog, new dog. I'll just create the object of dog. Here it is required. It required the name of the dog. So I'll pass, for example, buddy. Next, I'll create the instance of cat class. I'll write cat equals to new cat, and I'll pass the name as, for example, cat. So we have created the instance of the derived classes. Now we'll access the property from the base class. So for that, we'll write console.writeLine. Here we'll specify the dog name. So for example, here I'll write first name is dog name. Next, we'll do the same for cat. Dog, I'll just write cat's name and cat dot name. Next, we'll call the methods. To do that, what I'll do, I'll write dog dot make sound and cat dot make sound. This dog dot make sound will call the overridden method of dog class, and cat dot make sound will call the overridden method in cat. Now, let's see what we did. First, we create an animal class that serves as the base class with a common properties called name and the method called as make sound. The dog class is a derived class that inherits from animal. It adds no additional properties, but it overrides the method, that is make sound method, to provide the specific implementation for the dog class, that we can say like the dog specific sound. Cat class is another derived class which is also inherited from animal similar to dog class. It overrides make sound method to provide the cat specific sound. Then when we create the instance of dog and cat class, you can access the inherited name or inherited property from the base class and call the overridden method, that is make sound method, to observe the specialized behavior for each animal. Though we have created the virtual method in animal class, when we call dog.makeSound, it will call this dog class makeSound method, which is specific to dog class. Similarly, when we call cat.makeSound, it will call cat class and its specific overridden methods. Let's run the program and see the output. So you can see here, this dog name is Buddy and the cat's name is Catty. When we call dog.makeSound, it calls the overridden method of dog class, that is makeSound, which print the value as dog bark. And similarly, when we call cat.makeSound, it calls for the overridden method of cat class, which says cat say meow. In this example, I demonstrate how inheritance allows you to create a hierarchy of classes where shared properties and behaviors are defined in the base class and the specific properties and behavior are derived in the derived class or defined in the derived class. I hope you like the video. Stay tuned for my upcoming videos and please do not forget to subscribe. Thank you.